It feels so damn good to have Vikings back finally. I was totally ready to jump straight back into the action, the fighting, the plots, everything, though now it seems that episode 5 was more just teasing us on most of the main storylines, kind of dancing around the issue, and avoiding most of the big twists and turns and impact till next episode. That's why I'm so keen to jump into this preview and take a good guess at what could be coming up.
I cast my vote to Bjorn Ironside.
Now in my previous videos, I've considered the fact that Harold and Bjorn, two characters that have been quite tight over the last 2 seasons or so, could have come to some private arrangement or deal about how they want these events in this whole election to play out before really moving in blind. But now we've got episode 5, it seems that Harold's got his own plans and Bjorn just going with the flow. Right from the onset of the episode, we see Bjorn making some critical political mistakes. He has so much fame and prestige from his name, his father's achievements, and his own. This clearly puts him as the front runner of this election, and the horse any betting man would back. But Harold wasn't broken by his time in imprisonment with Olaf, and definitely still has his ambitions of being king. As soon as he sees Bjorn wavering and getting tired from all the pleasantries and introductions of the various earls and kings, Harold swoops in with the, "I'll take it off your hands. Don't worry, I can explain how everything's going down, make sure everyone's on the same page. Trust me, bruh, let me introduce and frame the conversation and talk to all of the most important people before you have a chance," is definitely a smart and sensible idea. The entirety of episode 5 was full of shady meetings and conversations, with every different party and interest throwing shady, suspicious looks at each other, with an all-round very nervous and apprehensive atmosphere. However, all the plotting and conversations won't matter if you're too afraid to face up in action against Bjorn, who's definitely quite an intimidating figure. So if the kings and earls are too afraid to vote against Bjorn publicly, and Bjorn wins his election, how can Harold take that role he so desperately wants?
Harold is going to kill you. Sorry, Bjorn.
Yeah, it's not that complicated. They're Vikings. With Bjorn out of the way, the kingship has to fall to the second best, and Harold somehow managing to form a coalition that can outcompete all of these no-name pointless kings and earls is significantly more achievable than taking on the son of Ragnar. Meeting with kings and earls behind Bjorn's back under pretext of helping him out, organizing shady conversations on the sides of streets, and assassinating your political rivals in the dead of night are some pretty slimy tactics, which would make Harold a perfect politician. However, when I personally think about the different arenas of life that I would like to challenge Bjorn in, hand-to-hand combat is not the one I would pick. Flatnos is quite an interesting place. He seems to be in this position where he wants to tell Bjorn about what he's been seeing, what he's been noticing, because he's not being distracted like Bjorn. But because of the tension between them as Bjorn places the blame of Floki being missing on Flatnos and all the foreboding foreshadowing that we've seen from that, it very much seems he shouldn't be helping out Bjorn. But regardless of the fact of whether he actually does tell him in time or if he's telling the truth, it very much seems that Bjorn is outnumbered here quite a lot. Now, Flatnose does say this was planned by Harold, and we've seen a lot of the weird shady looks from him, but we don't know that for sure. When it comes to political scheming plotlines, the whole idea is to subvert what we think we know. Olaf seems quite clearly in Bjorn's camp, but also, he's crazy. Maybe he's the one behind it. Not to mention all of the other interested parties that could be trying to make their own attempt to take the kingship. But one thing we know for sure is this election is going to fall to pieces. There's going to be backstabbing and fighting, and violence will choose who wins. And I'll find myself in this very weird position where I want Harold to be king and to come out on top, but I also really want Bjorn to survive, which puts me in a very conflicting spot. But that's just me. I would love to hear what you guys think about this election and who you're rooting for.
The outcome of this battle has already been decided.
So yet again, they kind of drawed out the Lagertha storyline in episode 5, not giving us a second round of fighting until episode 6. However, it seems that this next fight is going to be even bigger and more intricate with the kind of traps and preparations they're making than the last one. And hopefully they'll mean that less kids will die this time, but I wouldn't hold out hope. Though it will be quite fun to kind of get some more action and fighting in this next episode as we cross between all the political backstabbing and assassination attempts and Bjorn's storyline, then back over to Lagertha's storyline where the shield baitings going at it and the bandits falling into trap after trap, like Home Alone but Viking style. The storylines I've enjoyed the most this season have been the Uber and Bjorn storylines, so the Lagertha has kind of just been filler to me, with it perhaps dragging on a little bit longer than it really needed to. From what I see here, this battle just seems to be a slightly upscaled version of what we already got. The village has been set up like a trap, they've got some plans in place, they're going to fight off again, the shield baitings going to go out there and fight. All of the same beats we've kind of already covered, just slightly different this time. So it seems quite redundant to have it drag out not only through episode 5, but now into episode 6.
I can kill you, Lagertha.
If I have to die, it is worth it. Stay back.
So this fight scene here between Whitehair and Lagertha seems to be the real defining difference between this fight and the one we got previously. Most of this will just kind of play up to this moment where we get to see Lagertha truly shine in a one-on-one fight, and more than likely wrapping up the Whitehair storyline all in all. Now I'm assuming this Lagertha fight will be near the very end of the battle, so we can see that Gunhild is still here and alive, so it seems that Vikings doesn't want to kill her off in this battle. Having this smaller, more intimate one-on-one fight with Lagertha, who is like got a limp and kind of a little bit injured, versus this older warrior that she would have advantage on, could be a little bit of a callback to Ragnar's fight with Haraldsson way back in season 1. So the fighting will probably be more sloppy and just swinging at each other, so not as wicked or epic as the kind of fighting we see from Bjorn. Personally, I would be quite surprised if they kill Lagertha off from Whitehair. It doesn't seem like it would fit very well for a character art, the storyline, the prophecy, any of the things they've been building up for. So that's a lot of interesting things we get to see in this preview, and some exciting stuff coming up for next episode. The only questions will be around Vixit's storyline and Uber, what happens there. I definitely can see Uber having quite a strong reaction if he finds out Vixit sold away his arm ring. Not to mention what Vixit will do once he finds out where Ivar's location is. If you guys have any cool thoughts about what could be happening next episode or in this preview, make sure to leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching this video, and as always, Skull.